Well, you know, Frank, what you want to do, especially coming into a period like this, you've lost last night, so what happens here, all of a sudden you know that the Gophers are going to have a little bit more of a jump here. They got some great opportunities. Look at on the left of the screen there. Those are all the opportunities by Minnesota, and they're from all over that area, but they're in close to the netminder as well. The circles there represent the goals, the one by Spihar and Kraft there, both close in, but look at the opposite end. I tell you, very few shots against the bus, but when he was tested, he was able to come up big for them.
All right, and when I talk about old barns with Zambonis that fall apart and leaking roofs, I was talking about Grand Rapids, Michigan, not Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I don't think there are any bad old barns in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
No, they have a pretty nice arena now in Grand Rapids, Michigan, too.
Very much a shrine, a very nice Hall of Fame to many great Grand Rapids players. We'll take a break, and the Bulldog on skates will come after the Gopher in a moment. Golden Gopher Hockey on MSC is brought to you in part by Farm Bureau Insurance, by your Heartland Chevrolet dealers, and by US West. And welcome back to the deck, the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center in downtown Duluth. We're getting ready for the second period of action between the University of Minnesota and the University of Minnesota Duluth. It's the Gophers with a 2-0 lead over the Bulldogs. Well, very special effort is underway throughout the WCHA, and that is to raise some money for the flood damage caused to Ralph Engelstad Arena in Grand Forks, the home of the national champion Fighting Sioux at the University of North Dakota. WCHA teams have targeted $50,000 to raise for the repair and renovation of the arena. They've already had to replace boards and glass there, plus a lot of plaster has had to come down. For Minnesota fans, University of Minnesota, starting this Tuesday, October 28th, there will be a cash drop-off barrel or box at the Mariucci Arena ticket office where you can make a contribution. The university's goal is personally $9,800. They would like to get at least $1 for every seat in the house, and I'm sure they can exceed that too. So the drop-offs will be there throughout the week at the ticket office, and also next weekend when the national champs will come in and face off the co-conference champs, Minnesota, next weekend. And of course, we'll have the games for you live. And of course, for those of you in Grand Forks watching, I'm sure you're well aware of the response of a lot of the folks in the metropolitan area for the relief effort throughout the summer. Our hearts have gone out to you, or just admire the way you have rebounded in the sense of adversity. I think, Tom, one of the greatest tributes is that very few, if any, people are bolting, leaving town. They're staying put because I think they realize how much, what something special they have going in their community.
Well, you're absolutely right, Frank, and it's all the people along the Red River who have suffered a lot of damage in Minnesota and up in the Dakotas as well. And I had a chance to do some sandbagging this past year up in Montevideo, and it was devastating to see what those people have gone through. But you know, you talk about rebounding, and they are still rebounding, will for a long time. But as you mentioned, they're staying right where they are.
You got all those muscles so you can lift those sandbags. I was just bagging a few groceries for them.
I was working in the lunchroom.
And you ate the food that I sent to you. Good deal, Tom. All right. Yeah, you've sandbagged me a few times, too. We're just underway in period 2. And Bill Cohn back to get it. Now here's Abrahamson looking for Nate Miller. And now that's center right. Penalty box is empty as we start this period. Here's Ken Dukowski trying to get around Abrahamson. Ryan Kraft watching him in the corner. He nearly gets free. Pushes a shot a foot wide of the target. And Curtis Bois. Bill Cohn after it. Looking for Nate Miller. And Miller nurses it along the wall. Listening to that interview that you had with Nate Miller down outside the dressing room, and the interview Ryan Lefevre had with Bill Cohn, and the other interviews that we've done. This is a very articulate Minnesota hockey team this year.
Yeah, there's no question.
I mean, the previous years weren't, but these guys stand out.
Well, there's a lot of emphasis put on academically what the Gophers do, and these players, I think, are more and more in touch as to how to conduct themselves when it comes to media and so on, and they certainly have learned a great deal. It isn't the one-word answers anymore like it used to be. These guys really do expand on some of the questions, and very gracious group of young men, too, to take that time. Because sometimes it's difficult when you've been on the ice and, you know, you don't want to do it, but they have never turned down the request to do it.
And they rarely look flustered out there either. It puts them in a hot spot, as you said. Curtis Boyle lost his skates out at center ice. Ryan Treble played it ahead, but Lidster is there to knock it right back in. Very critical period, the second period here. It has been a rather decisive period in the last few years whenever these two schools have met. It tends to be that the team that wins the second period wins the game. Wyatt Smith to the left side, and Hankinson tipped it in. That was the case certainly last night when Duluth outscored Minnesota 4-2 in the second period. 3-on-2 rushes, they bring it to the Minnesota line. Becomes a 3-on-3 as DeBusk covers up the loose puck. And Wyatt Smith covers up a Bulldog. More sports action will be coming your way just a little bit later on here on MSC right after our game. We'll have some Pac-10 football for you as USC takes on Oregon right after hockey here on your ultimate sports connection.
Frank, the start of the second period is so important to both clubs because the Bulldogs really need to get that quick jump start here. They've seemed to have a little more spark here coming into the second period. They're behind by 2, and they need to get on the board here rather quickly. Minnesota, on the other hand, they can't afford to sit back and say, hey, guys, we're leading 2-0, because it can change very quickly.
Eric Westrom ready for this face-off against Jason Hackstead for Duluth. And the draw back to the line, Gilling shooting. Mike Anderson over to pick it up. Anderson to center ice, bringing it in. Foul, fired wide. I don't think that missed by very much. It might have been high, but it didn't miss by too much. Rybar at center, a nice drop pass for the defenseman. Doyle shooting. DeBusk kicks out a big rebound, but he kicked it past everybody. Minnesota with a 3-on-1. Miskovich and Mike Anderson. Now Miskovich shooting right on. And Frank Nicklin is there to cover up and hold on. Nicklin out to cut down the angle and didn't give Miskovich much to shoot for. 2.5 minutes into the period, and the Gophers are still up by 2.
Well, Aaron Miskovich coming down here with a puck. It was really a 3-on-1 situation, but he pulls the puck to the side. Instead of making the play across, he takes a shot here. And it's not bad to take the shot, but he's not at the best shooting position. And they have players, Anderson coming down on the far side, who is in a better position. But that's the inexperience also. He's got to learn to listen for his teammates. They've got to holler to him, let him know when they're in the open, so he can make that play across if necessary.
Puck brought out of his zone by Homestall. Homestall in over the line. 3 Gophers waiting back for that rush to come in, and they shut it down. Corey Miller crosses center, dumps it deep. Now it's batted away by the goaltender Nicklin. Homestall grabs it again, and Sissons to center ice. This team was on fire last night, getting 4 of the 5 Duluth goals. Homestall after it again. Send it. Ices it. In a little bit of frustration. And perhaps they needed a line change. Well, they'll get it. They'll also get a face-off deep in their own end. Well, again tonight we've got some bumping going on. And our Farm Bureau collision of the game involves Dylan Mills.
Well, you watch Dole right here trying to get around Mills, and boy, he caught him pretty good, and he gets right back up on his skates again. But he was shaken up. He's taken a couple of pretty good hits here in this game.
Turned around to get the number of the truck and found out it was a step van. Now Nate Miller. They get it past Poole and deep. Curtis Bois roughing up Reg Berg. He pulled Berg's helmet off way back behind the play. The play goes on. And now right back into the Minnesota end. Carried by Peluso. He dropped it back. It was deflected. Grabbed by Ryan Kraft. He wheels to the Duluth line, then dumps it in. Nate Miller trying to play through the defense. Can't do it. Gilling gets to the puck. Clears it around. Kraft on him. At the line. Abrahamson centers it, and Nate Miller was crossed up a little bit in the slot. A backhand by Berg and a glove check by Nicklin. As Nate Miller was knocked down at the side there, thinking perhaps there should have been an interference penalty on Ryan Kuhl, but nope.
What's happened more so in this game tonight than last night is that Minnesota's winning the little races to that puck. They're getting to it first. Watch right here. Here's the puck. All of a sudden, a couple guys going. Nickel able to come up with that big glove of his to grab on, but Minnesota a little bit more jump in their step here tonight as they are winning those little battles and controlling the play.
And if allowed, Duluth only 2 shots on goal in 4 minutes here this period. Gophers have also taken 2, so that department even at least in this period. Hagel centering a line that has Sendon and Corey Miller on the wings. And Joe Rybar waits for the puck. Now Hackstead brings it to center. The pass intended for Pogreba was broken up, and Duluth brings it in offside. Rybar carried it in, and a teammate was still trapped inside the zone. Well, the boys are staring one another down pretty good after the whistles.
I think there's a lot of talking going down on the ice. It's not about where you're going for dinner next time in.
To see who can trade the most expletives between whistles. Hagel's line remains out. And the Dogs counter with Mark Gunderson's line. He's from Duluth-Denfeld. And actually an all-Minnesota line with Jeremy Zahn on the left and Rich Anderson from Elk River on the right. Zahn is from International Falls. From center ice, it's dumped in by Sendon. And Dole behind the net. Now up on the far side, Fibiger with a pass to center. It's deflected and driven in by Sendon. Minnesota will start changing its forwards, bringing Hankinson, Smith, and Spihar on. So the Gophers have juggled their lines a little bit from last night. And I guess perhaps you could say that it has worked. Well, see there, I took my eyes off the play when the whistle went. That was silly.
Yeah, a couple of 17s coming together out there. Also Godbout in the middle of things with Mark Gunderson.
The young line out for Duluth, Gunderson in his freshman year, Rich Anderson and Jeremy Zahn, both sophomore.
I think what we're seeing more and more, I think this season I've seen before, is a lot of players going towards the goaltenders. Nice hit right there as Rich Anderson just catapulted over top. There's a little play there. Look as Jeremy Zahn and Wyatt Smith get into it a little bit. No penalties on the play. The goaltenders are taking a beating. The players are being a little more physical towards them, and that's where the referees have really have to clamp down and call penalties when those situations arise.
I think there too we saw a great example of what a complete two-way player Wyatt Smith has become. And now Smith carrying it to center, drives it in. Nicklin lets it go through. Here's Pogreba, and boy did he take a smack from Hankinson. No harm, no foul, however. Treble on a screen. The shot goes wide. Godbout keeping it in, but Litzner knocks it down off the dasher and gets it out to center ice. Two Bulldogs bring it to the line, then it fizzles. Pogreba, a long line shot. And a delayed penalty coming up here on Minnesota. Puck high in the air and down in the corner. And as the puck is touched by Godbout, Mike Schmidt calls the play, and we'll have a power play coming up here. Stepping away from the puck, but it is a trip. And we'll be back with the power play in a moment.
Well, the trip was in behind the play, and it was Wyatt Smith of the Gophers that will be called for tripping as he brought down Rybar. And so the Bulldogs will go in there for a power play opportunity of this game.
They're 0 for 3 tonight. They were 1 for 6 last night. With the man advantage, Rybar. And that one got tangled up in the skates of Derek Shepard. Dylan Mills drops it back. Mike Lyons hands it away. Peluso waiting, shooting, the bust to save. And he holds on. And Peluso and Mills collide out front again. Oh, nearly very costly giveaway.
Well, when you have the puck in your own zone, especially when you're killing a penalty, you can't afford to give it up. Stevie DeBus coming up once again with a big save here. And Mike Lyons trying to get the puck down the ice. If you're going to shoot down the middle, you have to make certain that you're able to get it in an area where there's nobody else standing. Watch right here. He gets the puck, but look where he puts it, right into the middle. There's two white jerseys there. And the Stevie DeBus just able to grab on.
To the point and Dole, and a stick save by DeBus. That one again sails straight up in the air. Down in the corner. Off the boards comes Dukowski. Left it for Peluso. Walking in. DeBus to save. The scramble. And DeBus will cover up. And bodies are starting to fly again. That's Dukowski, who has the assistant ref around him.
Well, he and Berg, they're still, I'll tell you, this is a scrum right now.
And Dukowski wants a piece of Berg as they dart off to the side. Meanwhile, in front of the net, 2 more unidentifieds.
I think it's Rybar, one of the guys down there.
Yeah, you're right. It is Rybar and Nate Miller. Well, will we have 4 going off here?
Oh, we should have some going off.
Rybar still jawing away. Here's how it starts.
Lots in front now. You can see the puck laying there. Notice the Gophers coming back there to help out. There's Nate Miller just grabbing onto Rybar, pulling him back. But look on the far side also. You got Dukowski, I believe, and Berg going at it. Berg pulls Dukowski's helmet right off. And then Nate Miller and Rybar continue their battle. And so these penalties will come at 6 minutes and 6 seconds of the period. Gophers leading 2-0. Wyatt Smith was already in the penalty box. He still has 1 minute and 20 seconds to go.
Crowd reacting with the 2 Duluth players sitting to 1 new Minnesota player. Surge with a sarcastic grin on his face at this point because I think he knows what's coming. He probably already knows what his next words to the officials are going to be. Doug Woog motioning to John Campion. I can't quite hear you. What's going on? And now another Gopher player comes over.
Yeah, and that's a correct call. 2 from each side. When you get in those tight corners, Casey Hankinson talking to the referee Mike Schmidt right now.
All right, we've got on the Minnesota side, Nate Miller, a double minor, and Reg Berg, a double minor. And the same thing for Duluth, Rybar and Dukowski.
All 4 minutes apiece.
And all at 6:06. All right, that'll deplete lines for a while here, or at least the bench. Jeff Sissons is ready for this face-off. Here comes Ryan Kraft. Draw to Duluth. The Dogs on the power play. DeBus makes a pad save on a hard shot from Lidster. Lidster again, a shot deflected by Kraft. It's down in the slot. Anderson tripped up. And here's Collinander centering it. That was broken up by Abrahamson. Lidster. Continues a hot hand, and on the power play, the Dogs pull within 1.
Well, he picked up 3 points last night on 2 goals and 1 assist. As you mentioned, Frank, he has been hot. He gets a chance once again. Look at Minnesota trying to defend in this shorthanded situation. DeBus had the puck initially, but he was in a position where he could not hang on to it. Good effort on his part. But Homstall with a good hard shot coming in too, and all of a sudden it's in the net. And we've got a game once again. The Dogs trail by 1, but they're on the scoreboard finally. That goal coming at 6 minutes and 24 seconds of the second period.
The freshman from Tisdale, Saskatchewan, his 3rd of the season.
And the assist on the goal will go to Jeff Sissons and also to number 15, Laird Lidster.
So that line continues hot. They dump it into the Minnesota end, but did not cross center. And it's icing against UMD. Well, for whatever reason, they still have Wyatt Smith's penalty time up on the board, but of course that penalty was rescinded with the power play goal by Homstall. Boy, have they been torrid. He had, as Tom said, 2 goals and an assist. Sissons, the center on that line, 2 assists last night. And Colin Anderson, the freshman, led the team in scoring coming into the game, 2 goals and an assist. Now they clear the penalty clock and announce the goal. I think when this guy gets done, he goes out and announces the ship arrivals. Here's Cohn with a shot.
Oh, he'll be glad here.
I'm sure he will. Out to center Sissons, and Wyatt Smith goes after it. And it's offside at the line. I have a feeling we're going to be in for a long second period here.
I think a long third period also.
Well, by then they'll be tired. There's only, there's all of 13 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in this period. We're getting a lot of stoppages. Derek Shepard says, all right, I'll handle the face-off. I'm ready. Sissons will come in. Wyatt Smith from Minnesota comes in. And they're both out of there. Hankinson against Colin Anderson. Colin Anderson kicks it over. Litzner dumps it in. Here's Bill Cohn. Takes a big hit in the corner from Colin Anderson. And that goal has jumped the crowd here, and it may jump the Dogs. Let's see how it turns out. No, they lose it at the line. Oh, Smith really on it in a hurry. Wyatt Smith lines up a shot. It goes wide of the target. Abrahamson to play it in deep. Casey Hankinson breaks for the puck. Cool ties him up. Right in for Spihar. A juggling and dancing act by Nicklin, but the puck won't go in. Spihar may have knocked that one out of midair, maybe even off the shaft of his stick. And now Wyatt Smith in the slot jostling a little bit.
Well, I tell you, these two teams, they are not done yet by a long shot. Still in behind the net. You look at the scrum going in here, and that's Hankinson back in there. I think it's Garrotti back there too, Frank, or Cool. I can't tell who. Cool was the one who got beat there at the blue line, and now all of a sudden Zahn's coming with a little cross check that he gives over to Wyatt Smith. That should be a penalty right there.
Yes, it should.
Now we'll see if they call it. But I mean, that's the instigating situation. Coming off the bench like that to do it.
And boy, did the Gopher bench notice that.
Yeah,
they are all over. Because if you count now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Duluth skaters out there right now. Well, maybe Zahn was the sacrificial lamb on that one. There was a couple of pretty good punches. Oh, my. And another. And how many does he get in here?
Yeah, this could get nasty. One thing it does do, though, Frank, it allows enough room on the players' benches that they can lay down because they're all going to be on this side in the penalty bench.
Well, now they're on Spihar again, the fans are.
Well, you know what? It makes you a good player, they're on you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why they never bothered me. The penalties will be called at 7:12 of the period. It's a long period, as you can well imagine.
I think we'll cool our heels for a little bit too. 12:48 to go in the period. Bunch of penalties coming your way. Hold on.
Well, after all that, only 2 players go to the penalty box. That will be Casey Hankinson of the Gophers and also Ryan Kuhl of the Bulldogs. So let's pick up 4 minutes. Roughing, I'm sure. But watch right here. The puck will go back in behind the net. You're going to see Kuhl and Hankinson come together. There's where Smith has a puck. They're looking behind the net. There's a little pushing back and forth. And everything in front of the net, everything else, one unnoticed apparently. You can see where the officials are. Their eyes are right now. They're looking in behind there. A lot of the action was back out in front also. But no penalties being called there. Shepard and John Campion getting their workouts.
Wyatt Smith and I've forgotten the player out in the slot. It might have been Homestall out in the slot. And
Zahn,
then Zahn and Smith in the corner. And still they have spotted only 2 and no man off the bench, which we thought Zahn was.
Mike Sertich screaming at the officials right now. Choke side. Oh boy. And now he's being worked by John Campion too. He gave him the choke signal and
I will scratch my neck.
I did that once to a referee. It cost me $100.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you shave and you just kind of, you really raw your neck there. And you just kind of scratch it once in a while.
We see the emotion of the players, but the coaches also get pretty emotional at times. But there are things you do and you don't do, and that's one you don't do.
I didn't know I was so good at lip reading, but Gilling in the corner goes after it again. It comes to Peluso for Duluth. And a loose puck in the slot. Mike Anderson turns, and it's off his skate. Now Caluso, bumped by Mike Anderson. We have equal strength on the ice. A long shot from the line by Abrahamson was blocked by Zahn. Gets it only as far as center, and the Gophers will have to go back for the puck. We are 5-on-5 here. And all of the penalties that have been called of late have been double minors. Nate Miller, Reg Berg, Joe Rybar, Ken Bukowski, Casey Hankinson, Ryan Kuhl. And that was in the span of 1 minute and 6 seconds. All double minors.
Well, that icing call will bring the faceoff back into the Bulldog zone. Still lots of time in this period, 12:07. This is a long one. Lots of whistles. Lots of action after the whistle.
Gophers 2 goals in the first period by Spihar and Kraft. Homestall getting his 3rd of the season here in the second to make this one even more intense. Got about keeping it in. Wyatt Smith in the corner. And it's cleared around to the far side. Spihar knocks it around, but knocked it into a crowd. Biviger nearly lost it. Now it's taken away by Smith. Spihar goes in there, tries to knock it loose and does. Smith, little pick and roll there with Godber in front, and Nicklin breaks it up. Spihar on the loose puck. Spihar trying to get away from Hexteth, centers it. And then the loose puck is grabbed. It hits a seam, takes a Minnesota bounce. Here comes Pago, and it's turned away by Nicklin right up into the crowd. And Nicklin did a great job there by deflecting that one up out of play. His team was just bottled up totally.
Now Spihar after the whistle going after Progreva a little bit, trying to have a few words with him. But Minnesota doing a nice job once again of getting that jump on that puck and keeping it in that Bulldog zone. Bulldogs not able to clear the puck. And finally the shot on net by Pago is deflected over top of the glass and gives UMD a chance to regroup.
11:22 to go. And you sit and you wait and you wonder what will happen next. And as a player, you've got to be prepared for anything to happen next. You might get a clean breakaway here all of a sudden, or you might have somebody draped all over your neck. Yeah. Now Corey Miller in the corner. Driven around, Colin Anderson waits for it. Skates it to center. Smashed to the wall. And it's dumped in. Dylan Mills turns to go after the puck. Left there by DeBus. Colin Anderson in on him in a hurry. Mike Lyons, left wing pass, goes deep into the zone. They're going to wave off the icing. Bert Gilling, first man to it. Stewart send it in on the fourth. Still they have spotted only 2 and no man off the bench, which we thought Zahn was.
Mike Sertich screaming at the officials right now. Choke sign. Oh boy. And now he's being worked by John Campion too. He gave him the choke signal and
I will scratch my neck.
I did that once. The referee cost me $100.
Yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you shave and you just kind of, you really raw your neck there. And you just kind of scratch it once in a while.
We see the emotion of the players, but the coaches also get pretty emotional at times. But there are things you do and you don't do, and that's one you don't do.
I didn't know I was so good at lip reading, but... Gilling in the corner, goes after it again. It comes to Caluso for Duluth. And a loose puck in the slot. Mike Anderson turns, and it's off his skate. Now Caluso, bumped by Mike Anderson. We have equal strength on the ice. A long shot from the line by Abrahamson was blocked by Zahn. Gets it only as far as center. And the Gophers will have to go back for the puck. We are 5-on-5 here. And all of the penalties that have been called of late have been double minors. Nate Miller, Reg Berg, Joe Rybar, Ken Bukowski, Casey Hankinson, Ryan Kuhl. And that was in the span of 1 minute and 6 seconds. All double minors.
Well, that icing call will bring the faceoff back into the Bulldog zone. Still lots of time in this period, 12:07. This is a long one. Lots of whistles. Lots of action after the whistle.
Gophers 2 goals in the first period by Spihar and Kraft. Homestall getting his 3rd of the season here in the second to make this one even more intense. Skybound keeping it in. Wyatt Smith in the corner. And it's cleared around to the far side. Spihar knocks it around, but knocked it into a crowd. Viviger nearly lost it. Now it's taken away by Smith. Spihar goes in there, tries to knock it loose and does. Smith, little pick and roll there with Godbout in front, and Nicklin breaks it up. Spihar on the loose puck. Spihar trying to get away from Hexet, centers it. And then the loose puck is grabbed. It hits a seam, takes a Minnesota bounce. Here comes Pago, and it's turned away by Nicklin right up into the crowd. And Nicklin did a great job there by deflecting that one up out of play. His team was just bottled up totally.
Now Spihar after the whistle going after Progreva a little bit, trying to have a few words with him. But Minnesota doing a nice job once again of getting that jump on that puck and keeping it in that Bulldog zone. Bulldogs not able to clear the puck. And finally the shot on net by Pago is deflected over top of the glass and gives UMD a chance to regroup.
11:22 to go. And you sit and you wait and you wonder what will happen next. And as a player, you've got to be prepared for anything to happen next. You might get a clean breakaway here all of a sudden, or you might have somebody draped all over your neck. Yeah. Now Corey Miller in the corner. Driven around, Colin Anderson waits for it. Skates at the center. Smashed to the wall. And it's dumped in. Dylan Mills turns to go after the puck. Left there by the bus. Colin Anderson in on him in a hurry. Mike Lyons, left wing pass, goes deep into the zone. They're going to wave off the icing. Bert Gilling, first man to it. Stewart send it in on the forecheck. Now Kraft with the loose puck to the line for Mills. He keeps it in. Kraft centers it and hands it away. And Gilling plays it ahead. Colin Anderson out at center. Mills rejects it. And it's tipped in deep by Mike Lyons. Grant Nicklin, the goaltender, shoots it around. Hands it to center for a shot. That comes in on Nicklin. He gloves it and holds on. The whistle goes. And there's not much happening right now. Most everybody must be pretty tired there.
Well, Corey Miller and Gilling coming together in front of the net there. And you're right, Frank, anything can happen in this game. What you have to be able to do is to separate your emotions sometimes when things are happening on the ice, because if you're still focusing on getting that individual or hitting somebody, you might lose sight of where that puck is and what you have to do with it. That has to come first. And the other things, you're able to do some of the other things at the same time, all the better.
This crowd's starting to sound like a European soccer crowd. It's not judgmental, it's just a statement of fact. The draw to the Dogs. Viviger back behind the net, number 6. Freshman out of British Columbia. Peluso wrapping it in deep. Abrahamson being chased by Curtis Quad. He gets rid of it in a hurry. Mike Anderson. Laird Litster shooting it back in. And Brett Abrahamson plays it again to Mike Anderson, who hands it away to Litster. A bouncing puck, batted by Peluso. He centers it back in by Quad. It's stopped by DeBus. And it's driven around to the point. Viviger keeps it in. Takes a big bump right off the puck, thrown by Miskovich. 3-on-1 Minnesota. Anderson centers it. Miller shooting, and that's deflected. And the Dogs turn it back. They got Peluso on a breakaway to tie the game. No! He lost control of it, then centers, and it's taken away by Webstrom. And his pass goes through everybody. Oh my, it really opened up as the lads got tired and both needed to make changes. Here's Pogreba, he can't control trouble with a screen shot. And that hit the defenseman goal. Now Wyatt Smith walking right in on goal. And Nicklin is there to knock it away. Godbout him goes to the corner. And it's driven by Pogreba to the line, not out. And Pogreba gets it again. Had the stick ripped from his hands. Kraft's pass broken up. Gunboat shooting. Rebound. The loose puck and a wide open net in the goal. Wyatt Smith. You can't diagram that play. Oh, it was all over the rink.
Frank, what a great effort all the way around by the Gophers on the ice at that time. Treble was able to keep the puck in the zone, and boy, did it pay dividends, because this guy right here, who was in the box when UMD scored their only goal of the game, also scores a goal right now to give the Gophers a 2-goal lead. That was the play there. You saw Treble knock the stick out of his hands, and also the puck is kept in. Minnesota continues to have, look at the wide open area. They couldn't capitalize, and Smith finally coming in the far side, picks it up, puts it in, making certain that when he took that shot, he had everything onto it, scoring his 3rd goal of the season, and more important for the Gophers, getting that 2-goal lead. That coming at 10 minutes and 57 seconds of the second period.
First goal of the weekend for Wyatt Smith. Kraft and Mike Anderson will get well-earned assists. Ryan Treble will not show up on the score sheet, but Tom, he twice held it in at the blue line there. Once to jump in the air and once knocking it with the stick.
Exactly right, Frank. And there's the importance of having your defenseman able to step up to the play and stay there. And you can do that if you know your wings are in a position to help you out. He did that along the boards and then knocking the stick out of the defender's hands. And we used to have contests. You know, if you knock the stick out of someone's hands in practice, you have to do 10 push-ups. So you learn to hold on to that stick.
There's a pass that's deflected by Nate Miller and covered by Nicklin, but Gilling has lost his helmet and yet another scrum. Now the defensemen are even in deep, which means they're going to face it off out of the zone. Gilling, as you see, is hurt.
He's holding his head right now. I don't know if he got kicked by the toe of the boot or not. He may have. He has lost his helmet down there. We're trying to get a replay of that for you, but he's starting to get up. I think he's going to be okay.
Gasping for a little air as well as he comes up. Checks the chin. It's still there. Probably the teeth are too. And while they tend to him, we'll take a break. What a weekend of hockey.
Well, you're going to see why Nate Miller goes to the penalty box. Right here, Gilling is down, and you can see his helmet has come off. And watch right here with the stick as he takes it right across the throat area.
Hey.
Boy, that becomes dangerous. That's going to be called for a cross-check.
It was that easily.
Yep.
And you got to start thinking a little bit maybe about intent to injure. The guy obviously without a bucket on his head, but it is a minor.
He does a 2-minute minor for cross-checking on the penalty, 11-23.
You do want to play the game with a little bit of an attitude, but there becomes a fine line between aggression and attitude. It's dumped in. This will be a power play for Duluth. 1 for 4 tonight. This is their 5th. They've had 6 shots on goal, and now Litzner to the Minnesota line. We are still in the middle of the second period. And there is Wyatt Smith to grab it, shoot it. I don't know if it was deflected or not, but it goes out of play. Minnesota 3, Minnesota Duluth 1. And there is Ken Dukowski.
And he's had a little bit of an attitude also in this game. I mean, he comes to play. There's no question that he's not very big, perhaps size-wise, 175, but he's got some pretty good wheels on him. Good skills.
Oh, there isn't a school in the league in North America that wouldn't like to have him. You just need tireless workers like he is. Berg gets it off the glass and out of the zone. Goal pressured by Wyatt Smith, and he goes right in after him. Short-handed or not, he takes goal to the rail. Now Dukowski after the puck. Mike Anderson has been flying this weekend. Throws a check there, but the Dogs break out with the puck. Peluso to the line. Oh, onside, and it was close. And Peluso centers it. Shot deflected over top of the net. Unseen by Steve DeBuss. Litzner shot, that's deflected by Mike Anderson, and it comes back to center. Now coming up on a minute on the power play, Joe Rybar finds Curtis Dole. left it at the line and then brought himself in offside. Not a very clean play, and the whistle works in Minnesota's favor. Face up back out at center.
Dole had a little trouble handling the puck there as he was coming over the blue line, and I think he also sensed Dylan Mills coming towards him, and Mills can throw the checks as good as anybody.
Well, he blasted him a little earlier on the far wall. This is collision number 2. Got that back of the rail right across his back, where there's no protection.
A couple guys 220 coming together like that. Yikes.
And Homestall plays it back. This is Lidster. Dole. Sissons. Lidster and Dole again. Stripped of the puck by Cone. Colin Anderson shoots it in. Hankinson drives it around. Blocked by Sissons. Tips it in front. Swept out of the zone by Berg. Shorthanded. He comes with Hankinson. Hankinson heads for the net. What a save by Nicklin. What a pretty play. Now Sissons to center. Stripped of the puck by Hankinson. 20 on the power play. They dump it in. Sissons tied up. Wrapped free by Homestall. Now play to the line. Fibbiger. Cool. Wrist shot. Deflected away by DeBus on a heavy screen. Colin Anderson leaves it. Cone was tied up. And the penalty to Nate Miller is over. The penalty boxes are empty. And Nate Miller drives it off a skate at center. Fibbiger has trouble with it. And it's grabbed now by Nate Miller again. He has to dump it in. The Gophers have to touch up. They would have been offside. Cool in the corner. Blocked by Eric Westrom. And now Hackstead leaves it for Fibbiger again. Out to Sean Pogreba. Chased at center ice and shut down by Jason Godbout. Mike Anderson can't control, but now he gets it. Lobs it up the middle. Pass intended for Miskovich, misfired. Hackstead got it in front. And then the centering pass by Bois failed to connect to Pogreba. Eric Westrom up off the near boards trying to find Miskovich. Under 6 minutes to go in the period. And Jason Hackstead back to get it. Off Pogreba's stick, knocked down by Godbout. Now grabbed by Mike Anderson, waits, turns, dumps it in. Minnesota needs time to change. Dole out of his own end to Pogreba. Broken up at the blue line by Mike Lyons. Why after it? Pace slowing down here a little bit, but the intensity is not. Hard shot by Gilling. Dribbles behind the net. The goal has come loose and the whistle goes. A very intense second period as Minnesota leads Minnesota Duluth 3-1 on MSC.
Nice play by Reggie Bird coming down here, right in behind the defender. Look at Hankinson. That was a good play there. And I'll tell you, it looked like it was going for the top corner, but Nicklin once again coming in with a big save.
Here comes Ryan Kraft right from the faceoff deep in the Minnesota end. Nate Miller after it. Knocked away by Pagel. Gilling and Dole pin 2 men to the wall. Both defensemen back behind the line. Rybar trying to get it out. Dukowski will retreat. Use the net for a shield and try the other side. Peluso. Rybar at center, tips it in, goes one-on-one with Lyons as DeBus clears it out of the zone. Gilling again. Dole. Tipped by Rybar in the zone. Mills after it. Peluso was knocked down, but in an apparently innocent collision with Nate Miller. Lyons to the line. Too far for Berg. Nicklin says, I'll sit on it. And Berg says, I'll spray it just a little bit.
Minnesota doing a good job right now coming out of their own zone. They have really forced the issue in the Bulldog zone. Bulldogs still have been able to come out at times, but I'll tell you, Minnesota's intensity has been very, very strong throughout this game. They lead 3-1. Shots on net right now, 21 by Minnesota, 15 by UMD.
Minnesota had a 2-0 lead after one. Each team has scored one here in the second. Sissons wins the faceoff. But the Gophers get control. Send into the line. Abrahamson dumps it deep. Trying to hit Berg, but he was covered by Fibbiger. Homestall can't get it out. Berg turns and shoots. That's wide of the target. Lidster on the the far side with Senden. Dug out of the corner. And Corey Miller is dropped. Puck is underneath him.
Jeff Citizens coming back into the corner. I think grabbed a little bit out of the middle, just enough to take away his effort, getting that puck back to the defenseman.
Not many of the conferences are into full swing yet. In fact, this is the only WCHA game underway. But in the latest poll by U.S. College Hockey Online and their website at uscollegehockey.com shows the Fighting Sioux have yet to play a regulation game. Still the unanimous favorite as #1 team. Michigan State surprising a few folks as they have climbed up to #2 in the poll, and Boston University #3. The WCHA schools are in white. Colorado College in the middle of the pack, and Minnesota #9 out of the top 10. There was one other WCHA game scheduled for today, and that was Michigan Tech at Denver. But the blizzard conditions out there have forced postponement of the game, so they'll play Sunday afternoon and Monday afternoon at McNichols Arena. So these two games, as of midnight tonight, will be the only conference games. It looks like, no, I won't say that. We're still in the second period here. Well, right now Duluth is alone in first place. Let's put it that way.
With that snowstorm out there, we're glad we're in Duluth and not in Denver.
You bet your boots. They don't handle snowstorms very well. Rybar handled that puck quite nicely. Now, blizzard out there would be nothing up here. Scramble, the puck goes into the corner. Dukowski. Dogs late in the period here, trying to pull within one. Dukowski in the corner. Ian Bird. And Peluso. Dukowski right in front of the bus. A big save on Rybar. Steve DeBus is really coming up with the key stops here tonight.
Nice play by Rybar also. He just hung tough a little bit, waiting for that puck to come to him. He didn't want to get into the melee of things. He waited, the puck was there. Good shot on DeBus.
At center, Ryan Treble dumping it in. It'll be played by Gilling. Gilling up off the glass. It bounds to center ice and grabbed by Godbout. He dumps it in. 2.5 to go. We're only in the second period, folks. Now hauled to center ice by Ryan Kuhl. His pass was behind Kotrova, and then Spihar can't control. Spihar and Gilling lock up. Spihar with that tender right leg. And now Hankinson in the corner. Jamming up. Hankinson shooting. Grabbed by Nicklin. He holds on, and Gilling and Spihar are still locked up. But they settle down.
No question that Spihar has certainly improved his upper body strength over the summer months. He's worked very hard at it, lifting a lot of weights. And that is showing on the ice right now because he's very strong on the boards in that slot area.
Seems a little amazing to me that Duluth is out shooting Minnesota 13-8 in this period. About 13-9. I didn't think they had that many shots.
They've had a few. They've had a flurry of shots when they come also.
Godbout right from the face-off, and it's off the blocker of Nicklin. Miskovic peeling away to get it. Fires it in front. And it's taken away by Colin Anderson. Mike Anderson shuts it down at center. But here comes Fibiger again, #6. Jesse Fibiger gets it deep in the zone. Picked up by Ryan Treble and played around. Miskovic gets a piece of it, but not enough to control. A stick goes flying. Treble and Homestall dig for it. And it's flipped out to center. 90 seconds in the period. Treble dumps it in. Nicklin leaves it behind the net. Here's Fibiger again. Out to center. Colin Anderson tries to get a stutter step and go around, but can't do it. Lions there to pick up the puck. Gophers have played very well at their blue line for, I think, the entire two periods. Now too hard for Lions to catch, and also too far now, and it turns out to be a UMD icing. Our second intermission will be coming up in just a moment or two, and we'll have an extended update from our Sports Connection studios. Can you believe what's happened to that Gopher football team now?
Boy, oh boy.
2 weeks in a row. Oh, man. So we'll give it a little extra coverage to that heartbreaking loss to Wisconsin today, and then back here at the deck for highlights and some stats. Might be time to call for an investigation of officiating at the Big Ten level. Long pass a bit too far. They leave it at the side there for Dylan Mills. He avoids the hit from Peluso. Rybar keeps it alive. Less than a minute in the period. A very tight game here. Still 3-1 in favor of the Gophers. Mills hands it away. Rybar dumps it deep. Lyons wheels to pick it up. Lyons has a man breaking it. Nate Miller tries to hit him. It's off the glass. Litzer gets it out of the zone. Back to the Minnesota line. Dylan Mills skips it right back out to center again. Kraft was jammed up on the wall by Dukowski. Down to 22 seconds. Nate Miller. Great job holding off Dukowski there. Knocks him down. Puck comes loose, but the Dogs get it. Mike Peluso fires from center and skips wide of the net. Rybar after it, but there was DeBusk to clear it away. Pagel shoots it to center. 6 seconds left. And it's played back into the Duluth end. Gilling. And that'll be the end of the period. What a hard-fought period of hockey this was. A goal apiece won by Homestall to bring Duluth within one at 6:24 of the period. And then about 4.5 minutes later, Wyatt Smith. Second intermission at the deck in Duluth. The Golden Gophers with a 3-1 lead over the Bulldogs from Minnesota Duluth. A period, Tom, that was played certainly with a little more attitude, if you will.
Well, it was, and it was all physical out there too, Frank. It was a long period, a lot of whistles that we mentioned, a lot of little scrums before and after the whistles, and I think the boys are a little bit tired right now, but they still have another at least 20 minutes to go.
At least. The Dogs got on the board first and really made this a hot contest as Homestall brings them within one.
And this was a big goal also. You watch Homestall, he picks up his, fourth point of the weekend. They just keep pressing right here. And there's Lister taking the shot on the far side. It goes over to Sissons, who's had a great weekend also. But Homestall is camped right in the doorstep, and before DeBusk can get over to it, it's in the net. That brings him right back into the game.
I don't think we can show you everything that led up to this one, except for a couple of great plays by Ryan Treble at the line.
He made one there. Now watch this play too. Knock the stick out of the hands, and all of a sudden, the puck is kept in the zone. Minnesota coming with a barrage of shots here, and you can see the wide open net, but they couldn't capitalize. But then Wyatt Smith coming in the far side, he spots the open net. He makes no mistake, it's in the net. But look at the roughhousing that's going on as well. A lot of bodies all over the place.
At near the end of the first period, we had Eric Westerhoff for roughing or for elbowing, and what really looked like a butt end on the replay. And here's a cross check to Nate Miller, and that was pretty serious as well. All right, your Grain Belt scoring summary shows you the 2 goals, Duluth on the board, and the power play, I should mention, at 6:24 of the period. Then Wyatt Smith, who has played just an outstanding weekend of hockey, getting his first point of the weekend, surprisingly enough, for as well as he's played. And that makes it a 3-2 count. The stats through 2 periods, shots on goal in favor of Minnesota, 23-17. Duluth had the edge in the second period, however, 13-10. And the quality shots are pretty even at this point in the game. Golden Gophers with 2 power play opportunities, 1 in that second period, but they have yet to cut a power play goal this weekend. All right, so we'll take a break. Tom and I will be back in just a moment. Third period face-off coming your way after this timeout on MSC, your college hockey connection.
For hockey is here. Now's your chance to be a part of the winning tradition. MSC, along with Cox Insurance and the St. Paul Companies, is giving away 40 autographed hockey sticks at each home game all season long. Or win by sending your name and address to Hockey Stick Giveaway, care of MSC, 90 South 11th Street, Minneapolis. One of these 24-inch hockey sticks will be given away during all Gopher hockey games on MSC. Win at home or at the game, but get on the stick today. Sponsored by Cox Insurance, St. Paul Companies, and MSC, your Gopher hockey connection.
Welcome back to the deck along with Tom Reed. I'm Frank Mazzacco. Third period. Whoa, who slashed whose stick blade out of whom? There at the top of the circle. Nate Miller. Along with Tom Reed, I'm Frank Mazzacco to finish that previous thoughts. It's Nate Miller who had to get a new stick. And he's lined up against Ryan Homestall. And they're still going at it a bit. Hey, we're underway right back where we left off at the end of 2. Out at center ice, Homestall misfires on a pass. And Reggie Berg at center. Now Nate Miller and Homestall tried to check him hard into the boards, but only got a piece. Kraft back to the line. Cole trying to get it ahead. And now played by Abrahamson back out. Brett Abrahamson will go back for the puck once more. And starts the rush out of his own end. By Park High School. Plays it in deep off icing, however. Across that red center line. So we're just 45 seconds in here with Minnesota leading Duluth 3-1. Champion Auto Stores and Crown Auto Service Centers bring you other scores from around college hockey. This would be for the championship of the J.C. Penney Classic in Orono, Maine. 6-5 Maine leading Colorado College. And Mankato State continues to give WCHA school fits. They are within a goal of St. Cloud State. We told you the game between Tech and Denver is postponed because of the blizzard, and New Hampshire will be at Anchorage a little bit later on tonight. Conference will get into full swing next weekend, and the Golden Gophers will host the defending NCAA champion and odds-on favorite to repeat, Fighting Sioux from North Dakota. That'll be at Mariucci Arena next weekend. Well, the Gophers do not have an easy start to this season.
No, they sure don't, Frank. You mentioned next weekend. That should be interesting to see how the national champions come into Mariucci Arena. They have not played a real game as of yet, but they are a good hockey team.
A break for Spihar. Oh, lost control of the puck.
He was hooked at the last second. That's why he lost control.
And Lions will go after it. No icing here. And bodies are flying all over as Hackstead throws a hit into Westrom. Hankinson gets it out of his own goal over to pick it up. This has been a grueling series. And a hit here by Dole as that puck was leaving the rink on Aaron Miskovich.
We came in from behind and caught him just at the boards there, but the puck was already over the net at that point. But Dave Spihar coming in here, breaking in on the far side. You'll watch here, the little foot pass to him. Now watch the little hook as he gets in here. He's getting ready to shoot. And right here, there's the little hook, and that holds his stick back, and that's all it takes sometimes. Coming back there, that's all you have to do is get a piece of that stick, and you can knock the puck off. A lot of guys will come in, they'll hit the glove of the player if they can't reach the stick, just to push it enough where the puck will go off the end of the stick.
Very good play, as it turns out.
Good defensive play.
Hackstead ready for that face-off, and the Gophers go after it. Lyons plays it around. Lobbed in the air. It's out at center ice. Knocked down by Fibiger. It's loose at the Minnesota line, but Mills. Through a check. There's going to be a penalty, not on Mills.
No, it's on Anderson, I believe. He's on the far side there. He's going to be called, and he's going to the box right now. It's a roughing call or what it is in behind the play there, but well, we'll see what the penalty is going to be. Is it a 2-minute penalty?
I don't know, Tom. He was talking an awful lot down there for just a couple of minutes.
Or is it a misconduct?
Book says
find
for
out
what?
exactly
For what?
what it is. It's a 10-minute misconduct is what it is. And so they'll lose his services. Doug Wu not happy with the penalty, but at least his team is not going to be shorthanded. Well, that coming at 2:09 of the period.
Suppose he said something?
Oh, I think he must have said something. Yeah, scratching his neck. He may have been doing that. Oh, dear.
We'll have to give Sertic a new set of blades for his razor to make sure his neck doesn't get so irritated next week. Well, we'll see if that's a costly penalty. Mike Anderson has had tonight among the best set of wheels out there for Minnesota, and endurance and wheels will be a big factor here in a tiring third period. Kerr brings it in, shoots one just wide of the target. And a loose puck squirts all the way to the far side. Jesse Fibiger after it. Up to Colin Anderson at center. In on the left side to Dukowski. He centers it for Anderson. Nice little play by Lyons, but the puck is loose. There's a turnaround shot, and DeBus blocks it. I don't think he knew a shot was coming. Sissons plays it in. Duluth down by 2 and pressing for an early goal here in the third. But Gophers control as Berg brings it to center. Shoots a long one on Nicklin. And he swats it down, then covered scores off. Still a very tense hockey game here at the deck in Duluth. We hope you're enjoying it on MSC. Welcome back to the deck. 3-1. The Golden Gophers lead. The Balloons back.
That's good news.
Maybe we can take one of those razor blades we were going to give to Surdich and throw it at the balloon. Cone, screen shot, hits a skate. Nicklin had no idea where it was. Hankinson. Centering pass broken up by Ryan Cool. Spihar takes a hit in the corner. Hankinson away with the puck. Cool on him in a hurry. Hankinson trying to flip it in front of the net, hoping to find Wyatt Smith. Now Spihar after it. Tipped at the line by Bois, still in the zone. Good job by Abrahamson. Then taken away again, and Hackstead gets it out. Cone at his own end to the far side. Too far for Smith. Hackstead drives it back in. The Dogs touch up. Now Abrahamson up off the far rail. It's tipped by Smith. He's in a crowd, and here's Peluso to get it for Duluth. Hands it away to Cone. He throws it to an open wing, and Peluso gets it. Tries to get around Abrahamson. Could barely get through. Gilling drives it far side, knocked down by Miskovich, and the Gopher forward back to get the puck, but boy, Peluso was in on him in a hurry and had him rattled a bit. Now from the loose puck there, Miskovich trying to get it to the line, and it's Wyatt Smith says, all right, we'll go out the other alley. Here's Dole. Runs into Abrahamson with an elbow, comes through with the puck, center to Peluso. He didn't get out of the shot, but the bus read it anyway. Hankinson tripped up. There's going to be a Duluth penalty. Dole back to get the puck. He fires it. Aiming for whom, I don't know. But the trip is called, and Minnesota will have a man-power advantage.
And I believe it's Rybar that will get that penalty as he skates to the penalty bench right now. Dole had a great opportunity. Watch right here coming in. You can see he's hit by Abrahamson, but he keeps on going. He's got the puck coming in, tries to get it back in the center ice area, but watch, it was kind of bouncing just a little bit. Couldn't control it, and DeBus coming up with a big save. And on the ensuing play, the tripping call will go against the Dogs.
I guess that wasn't an elbow. All right, let's revisit our Dodge Challenge and look at some keys to this game. Duluth, more of the same, huh?
We've seen a lot of the same, but the Gophers have been much stronger in this game also. Did they expect the go for a quick start? I think they did, but they couldn't do anything about it. And Minnesota certainly has capitalized on those opportunities that we talked about. The power play, that's still the sore spot right now. They need to get somebody who can move the puck. They certainly miss guys like Crowley there, Clymer back in that point position because of the injury, but somebody else has got to step up. But all in all, they've had a pretty good game.
This is the first Minnesota power play since the first period. I was wrong a little earlier ago. At the side, here's Berg centering backhand by Minnesota into an empty cage again on the power play.
Well, is that good timing?
Excellent.
That's excellent timing right at that point, because all of a sudden we talk about the power play, who's going to step up, and the young man that we didn't know he would be in the lineup because of the injured foot, all of a sudden is able to put that puck into the open net to give the Gophers a 3-goal lead. Watch right here, Ryan Kraft coming in, not shooting, looking for the open man, and they're trying to get it back in front here, and look at going through the pads of Ryan Kraft, but the defenseman has moved in on the play, and he puts it away. Jason Gabout scoring the goal. Berg and Kraft will get the assist. And that coming in 4 minutes and 56 seconds on the backhand shot.
Tom, at least 2 of the 4 goals for the Gophers have come on a rebound. This one, at least. I'm not sure about the Smith goal, that one after the flurry, but they've gotten their share of rebounds, and exactly what you're talking about. When you're scoring on rebounds, you're capitalizing on opportunities.
You said earlier in the first period that we're seeing more rebounds with Nicklin today than we saw last night. And the Gophers have been able to sustain the effort of getting to that puck and getting those chances and doing something with it.
Hard hit thrown in the corner by Ryan Treble. And he is roughing up Sean Pogreba with the stick pretty good. Back to the circle. Here's Bois off a screen and hit Pogreba, goes to the corner. Hackstead is checked by Westrom. And we played about 5.5 minutes here in the third period, but a much bigger and certainly more comfortable lead for Minnesota. 3 goals now, but they are tabbed for icing here, and the face-off will be back in their end. A hot weekend of hockey in chilly Duluth.
Well, the Gophers perhaps breathing a little sigh of relief, but not totally at this point. Dogs in this building especially are awfully tough. We've seen them bounce back here many times before. And they still have a mission out here. And Coach Mike Sertich trying to get his troops on track here a little bit, see if they can close the gap.
Last year they played 2 series. There were 2 splits. And the Gophers are hoping for the same here in the opening series of the 97-98 season. Ryan Kraft, who hit hard by Dukowski, but he was able to unload the puck. Ices it, however, and the faceoff will be back in his zone. And he's a pretty resilient guy, too, Ryan Kraft. Took a pounding there from Dukowski.
Well, right now, one of the things that the Bulldogs want to do is they want to keep the pace going. They don't want a lot of whistles. On the other hand, Minnesota does not need any more goals, but they can't just sit back. They want to slow the play down as much as they can. They'll dump the puck in. They'll make sure someone's coming back. Look at Derek Shepard. They've had a tough job tonight.
Oh, yes, they have.
Physically.
Imagine it's a little warm down there. The building tends to be a little warm, especially in our perch. Centering pass by Peluso right up the middle to Gilling. Dumps it back in. Peluso out of the corner. And his shot was blocked there by Cole. Played by Spihar. Not out yet. Bounces to Peluso. But it was played with a high stick. And the faceoff will be out at center ice.
Well, Peluso was in the right position right there. Unfortunately, it was a high stick for him, and so the faceoff will come outside the Gopher zone.
He had an assist yesterday, not on the scoreboard tonight. Have they shut him down, Tom? Peluso?
On tonight?
Yeah.
Yes. They have, I think he's been a little more noticeable tonight than last night, but he has not been in a position where he's been able to capitalize on a couple of chances that he's had.
You know, the other item is that he got an assist on the goal by Bois last night. That's the only points that line had. It was the Sissons, Anderson, Homestall line that picked up the majority of the points and goals. Hankinson's pass way too far for Spihar, and the icing is waved off.
I'm surprised it was waved off.
Yeah, I think everybody was. Well, except for 3 guys. Lidster. I know they
maybe
the
2
only
of them. Maybe 2 of them.
Lidster and DeBus, but it's offside at the blue line. As it was shot in from center. 12 minutes, 48 seconds on the clock.
Play a little ragged right now, both sides. Doug Booth smiling a little bit. Well, he can afford to smile.
Getting going. Well, our annual trip up to Duluth now seems to be happening in October, which gives us a great opportunity annually to celebrate the birthday of our graphics director for these games, Pat Carlson, in the truck. Thank you very much. I don't know, I've been looking.
Another birthday. I hope there's not a cake, or we're going to the fire department out here.
Our third period trivia question is, guess how old Pat is? Well, let's get back to the action here quickly. I'm looking for those spelling mistakes, too, and haven't found a one. They're getting tougher and tougher to find.
Thank goodness for spell check.
Here's Pfiffiger. Dukowski behind the net. And Nate Miller with Ryan Kraft to the Duluth line. Kraft in a crowd. He was covered by Pfiffiger. Loose puck. Gilling is there to knock it free. And Dukowski plays it to Rybar, who shoots from center and a glove catch by DeBus. Ryan Kraft gets it out of the zone.
Frank, these teams are getting tired right now. You can just tell the pace out here. Not just the skating part of it, but the physical play that we've seen here. You know, just hitting bodies and so on. It takes a lot of energy out of you.
Yeah, when you're carrying another 200 pounds draped over your shoulder, it gets a little tougher to skate, I think. We'll take a break and be right back. Frank Mazzacco, Tom Reed back at the deck in Duluth. You were saying?
Tells the story right there.
It does.
11:43, the Gophers need to continue to play strong defensively and offensively. Bulldogs have got to take some chances.
Aaron Miskovich scoots into the zone, dumps the puck in. Eric Westrom after it. Mike Lyons back at center ice. He'll dump it in. That's the tag-up rule we've talked about from time to time. Likely to come out of college hockey, we think. It's already been pulled out of the NHL. Hackstead slides it across from a bad angle right through the crease. And the Gophers, still with some pretty good speed, they bring it in. Pagel centers it all the way through. Viskovich was trying to tip it in. Hackstead, and the Dogs wheel right back. Hit by Cone, loose puck to Fibiger. Big save by DeBus. Now a check by Cone. He ties up Pogreba. And that puck dead in the corner there. And not over yet.
No, it's not. Billy Cohen and Pogreba into it. And all of a sudden, a little pushing and shoving going on. Cohen skates away from it.
All right, that'll be it, I think.
A few words going back and forth. Nothing major. Referee Mike Schmidt allows him to keep on playing.
Pogreba, sophomore. Johnson High School is where he played. I believe he was is he one of the last players to play for Bucky Kendig?
Yes, I think he was. He was also an all-state selection in both baseball and football. He was a pitcher, an infielder.
Great athlete.
Good athlete.
Good family of athletes, too. I think at least one other brother played very competitively at high school level. Little lumber.
A little chop.
Dole's long shot knocked down. That by Abrahamson. Here's Homestall trying to get it in front. That's rejected. Hankinson lugs it out to center ice. Sisson picks his pocket. Cone over to Abrahamson. Coming up on the halfway point of the third. Well, at least this period's moving along. And that's to Minnesota's benefit. Smith. A goal! Screen! Nicklin! Clinch, but it's in, and Wyatt Smith has two.
Oh boy, and on that shot too, you could see Nicklin very upset with Fibiger for whether he is screened or not on the play, but he just came right at him. But oh, what a big goal that one is. Smith will get the unassisted goal at 9:54 of the period. Dogs had the puck right here, and all of a sudden you can see why he was upset. Fibiger gave the puck away. Now here's the shot coming, and then he turned right on screen. Nicklin, who could not see it, and Smith capitalizing. That's what we talked about, Frank, capitalizing on those opportunities. Good hard shots in the net. And the Gophers with a very comfortable 4-goal lead.
Number 4 this year for Wyatt Smith, 2 of them tonight. Here's Treble shooting and shoved right back at him. And the Dogs break to center, now bring it in 3-on-2. Rybar, the drop to Peluso. And a left pad save and a nice kick save by Steve DeBus. Peluso again off the board. Minnesota with a 4-goal lead, 5-1, and this one cleared by Godbout, I think unintentionally out of the rink.
Oh, Peluso just came over and took the skates off, and Corey Miller just kicked him in from behind. And you can see what's happening here now, and I think the
frustration.
The frustration setting in. The officials are really going to have to watch this now. With 9:37 to go in the third period.
Spotted on the rim of the circle there. Unassisted goal by Smith. Litzner shot, deflects a couple of times, and then is grabbed by Kraft. Too far for Berg. Litzner back to the Minnesota line, picked off by Mike Lyons. And it's spun in. Here's Peluso, a side of the net for Berg, and Dukowski back to get it. Now Peluso again. Out at center, and Ryan Kraft backhands it in the zone. And there is Nicklin holding on. Reggie Berg was right out there waiting. So Nicklin takes the opportunity to get a break. 9:05 left to go in this one as Berg heads off the ice. Time for our Buick play of the game as we'll turn our clock back to the second period, and a great goal by Wyatt Smith. Good effort all the way around on the entire 5 players on the ice.
It really was, Frank, and this also was the third goal by Minnesota, giving them a 2-goal margin. Right here you can see the pressure putting on. Nicklin trying to get in position, but Wyatt Smith very alertly, able to see that the goaltender's down, get the puck up high, and he puts it in.
That was at 10:57, gave Minnesota the 2-goal lead. They've increased it to a 4-goal lead with tallies here by Godbout and Smith again in a span of about 5 minutes in the first half of this period.
Gophers have done a very nice job today of forechecking, really forcing the issue in the Bulldog zone, but at the same time, they've had those forwards coming back in to help out in the defensive end. And when there's been a rebound or extra players there, all of a sudden, they've got the maroon and gold players there who are able to pick up that puck and move it right back out again.
Westrom, right from the draw, goes towards the net, and it's gloved by Nickman. And now from behind the net, Curtis Dole. Bert Gilling carries it to center, crosses the line, drives it down. Bois, first man to it. And now gets some help again from Hexted. To the blue line, Pogreba. Bois behind the net. Hankinson on it. Or is that Abe?
That's Abe.
That is Abe. That number bunched up back there. Hackstead, and to the corner. Senden. And Bois again. Gilling, fire, wide of the target. Goal after. Hit hard by Miskovich. And that turns the puck over Westrom to center ice. Senden, one man back, trying to get an angle. He shoots it through the crease, but wide. And a big hit thrown by Dole into Westrom. Hexted to the Minnesota line, trying to split through the D. The puck comes through, and the bus shoots it down the rink. Might be icing here. It is. And we'll take a stoppage with the Gophers leading the Dogs 5-1 here on MSC. We'll be right back. Face off to the right of Steve DeBus. Tom, Minnesota right now holding Minnesota Duluth for just 1 goal, playing without Ben Clymer, an injured Jason Godbout. How have the young guys fared back there?
Well, I'll tell you, the injury to Jason Godbout is not apparent as he plays on the ice, but we have got some inexperience back there, as we talked about before, but we got Abrahamson and Cohen back. Whoa.
That game's not over yet.
No, not by.
And Trebles.
Yeah, Trebles right into the middle of it.
Is that Homestall there, I think? You know, he's been a pretty complete hockey player, too. He has played somewhat tough, and he's got pretty good skills. There's a look at
Certainly
Jason
has.
Godbout.
Yeah, he came into it. When I watched him before the game, as he came out to try to test the foot to see how it would work out, he said, yeah, I think it's going to be okay. So he was in the dressing room immediately to get some ice on to make sure that there would be no more swelling and that he was able to compete. But, you know, one of the areas that has been suspect this year is defense for Minnesota, and it's gonna take some time to learn. But these kids are really, I mean, they're giving their effort. There's no question. You watch right here, and you can see Treble. When you see a guy on top of your goaltender, you want to pull him out of there, and that's exactly what he was doing. As he and his opponent Homestall go to the penalty box area.
You know, Tom, you made a real good point, and I know you weren't just sounding the horn for all defensemen a little bit earlier today when you said defense is a position that takes a little more learning than perhaps a forward.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you've got to be able to, first of all, you've got to be able to skate backwards, and your speed has got to be just as fast as the players who are skating forward. At the same time, you've got to learn not to go to the puck all the time, what you have to do, and how you have to watch in front of the net. You need help back there, but it's a lot of conversation taking place between you and your teammate and your goaltender. But it takes a little bit longer sometimes for defensemen to develop.
Homestall and Treble each get minors for roughing at 12:30 of this period. And it's the third time tonight that we've had coincidental minors. Here's a look at Wyatt Smith, our Relia star of the game. 2 goals tonight. There's a shot that's deflected. It goes back behind the net. And he has just been a super player for Minnesota this year, this young season. 4 official games plus an exhibition that was played more like a real game than most exhibitions. That's, I think, one of the reasons why we keep referring to that Hall of Fame game against Michigan. The numbers don't count, but the attitude of the players made that game count. Godbout dumping it in. 4-on-4 hockey here for a while. Under 7 minutes to go in regulation, and perhaps the game here. Duluth will need to come up with at least, will need to come up with 4 to tie. Hankinson on the far side, Lidster. And finally, here's Berg. Lions wide open, waits for it, shoots it off a stick and right back out at center ice. It's deflected by Ryan Kuhl.
Nice quick play by Kuhl to get over to the far side to get a piece of the puck.
Here comes Berg, 1-on-4. Takes a bit of a check, runs around Kuhl, hangs on to the puck, nice dancing, he's upended, and the puck taken away cleanly by Dukowski. Peluso back to Dukowski. Centering pass comes right through.
Perfect example, Frank. Once again, the players coming back to help out.
Here's Kraft. Hard shot goes off the leg of Girardi. Half minute left in those minors. 6 minutes left in the third. Hankinson bobbles back behind the net. Gilling after it with Redberg again. And Kraft after it. Girardi. Kraft takes it away. Tries to get away from Girardi. Battles to the side. Battles to the crease. And the puck is finally covered by Nicklin. And Ryan Kraft with an effort that might make you think that this is a 1-goal hockey game, but it's not. The Gophers have a 4-goal lead. He was just hungry for a goal.
Boy, he was hungry for that puck, and that's exactly what the coach wants to see in a player. You're watching determination right here. He comes on the outside of Girardi, able to get to that puck, take it right away from him, and then just continue. Girardi actually has to hang on to him, grab onto him. Could have been a penalty called for holding there, but Kraft very alertly going for the front of the net, trying to look for that opening.
Could have been a hook on Kraft behind the net too, but no harm, no foul, I guess. Now the puck goes into the corner. And behind the net, the Bulldogs bring it to center. Homestall steps out of the box. And it is flipped in. There's Spihar. Kept in at the line by Biviger, and it just hopped away from Pogreva. And now Abrahamson. Hagel after it. And he gets it out of the zone. Abrahamson in the corner. Quick shot. Oh, a nice glove catch by DeBus. Probably going to be off target, but he was taking no chances.
Well, the one thing about Steve DeBus, if he can see it, he can usually latch onto it with that big glove of his. And he's had a very strong game, but he's had some help back there, too, defensively. We mentioned before that a couple of weak goals we've seen go in on him this year. That has not been the case today. He's met the challenge here very well.
There's a look at a final score. Colorado College wins that one in a shootout. They won the JCPenney Classic. They were behind in that game, were they not, a little earlier?
I believe they were.
Well, we'll just say they were, and then they were. They win it 7-6 in the shootout. Wyatt Smith digs in. Someone played it with a glove. Shots are pretty even here. So they'll do a little lining up. We'll take a break. 5 minutes left to go in regulation time. Gophers just barely onside as they bring it into the zone. 3-on-2, and Lidster really knocks Aaron Miskovich down. Now Jeff Sissons out to center ice. Ryan Cole, a nice move. And now throws it to the corner. Eric Westrom, overskates it. And Colin Anderson, as well as Mike Lyons is there. To think of it, have we seen Mike Anderson on the ice since the misconduct penalty?
I have not. I looked for him and didn't even see him go out of the box, to be honest with you, but I have not seen him back on the ice.
Out at center, Joe Rybar. He took a misconduct penalty very early in the period. Box is empty. Hankinson behind the net with Gilling. And now the Bulldogs led by Joe Rybar out at center. They tip it over to Dukowski. Leaves it there for Rybar again, and then the puck is shot out of the zone. And the Gophers now protecting the lead, trying to just shut down the Dogs, who have but one goal, which was scored at 6:24 of the second period. Here's Abrahamson floating it back in.
See what they're doing now, they're just getting the puck, just dumping him back in, making those changes quick. Each player knows he may have a shift and a half remaining, and you've got to make the most of it.
Dukowski into Peluso. And he is checked off the play by Mike Lyons, who I think has played one of his best games. Hankinson out at center ice off the skate of Wyatt Smith. Bibiger plays it back in for Peluso, who shakes the check, but it's offside. Well, we got a fight going on in the corner here.
Well, we got Dylan Mills down there. Also, he is down there with Ken Duskowski, who went into the boards together. I'll tell you, Duskowski has been all over the Gophers here today. Mills and he just tangling up in the corner, and of course when you do that as a defenseman, you want to hold that guy in the zone as much as you can to force an offside call.
Well, he held him nearly till Sunday morning. There's going to be a penalty. Here's the result. Oh, I'll tell you, Duskowski's got a pretty good hammer lock on there.
Just stay on top.
And I'll do a reverse hammer lock.
Whose mouth guard is that? They both lose it. We'll hope they get the right one.
Oh, dear. Minor penalties each side. Mills gets a rough. So does Duskowski. And these are at 17:02.
These teams have a habit of getting a lot of penalties all the time against each other. We got a total of 25 penalties in this game. 14 to Minnesota, 11 to the Dogs.
A lot of penalties indeed. It's one of those habits, Tom. I don't think even therapy would help. Probably hypnosis is the only thing that would cure this. But lopsided number there because of the extra 10 minutes on that misconduct to Mike Anderson. And we're 4 on 4 here for the remaining, or for the next 2 minutes. There's about 3 minutes remaining. Got Mountain Scissors in the corner, and now this is Greg Berg. He's had a real good weekend of hockey, Berg. And now the pass behind Godbout, who wraps it in deep. Played by Nicklin. Kraft. They drive it back around. Sissons behind the net. Goal. And Kraft with the forecheck pressure. Goal playing it around. And Godbout plays it in, and now brought up ice. But intercepted by Godbout. And again over to Treble, catching the Dogs in a change. Berg brings it in, takes the shot from the point, now dumps it in deeper as Bibiger checks him. And Peluso back to get the puck, and I think we're going through the motions now, Tom. Just 2 minutes to go and a 4-goal Minnesota lead. Here's Peluso trying to turn it on. Oh, he missed by less than an inch. And it's held in. No, Litzner could not hold it in. Kraft and Litzner involved in a little bit of a tie-up over at the blue line with 1:54 to go. And Derek Shepard says, I don't buy it, no matter what it is you're saying. All right, so we'll just have the face-off out at center on the offside. So the Gophers again rebounding, showing they can rebound quite nicely.
Maybe what they should start to do is have a scrimmage on Thursday night, so they're ready for the Friday game.
You want to look ahead to next weekend yet?
Not yet. No, let's get through this one first. I know it's going to be an exciting time when you got the national champions coming in, as North Dakota is, and deservedly so, to be picked #1 in the polls. Right? They didn't lose a lot of players like a lot of teams did this year, but they lost a little bit, but I'll tell you, they still should be the team.
Yeah, they got a real good goaltender back, and we showed you last night in the coaches preseason poll, they have 2 players in the voting for most valuable player in the league, and 2 players in the voting for a top rookie in the league. So they're going to be pretty complete. Question is, how in sync will they be? They've been sitting around, laying around there for I don't know how long they've been practicing, but Dean Blaze going to have to keep them at a razor edge because the Gophers will have had 5 games under their belt.
They'll be, I'll guarantee you, they'll be ready.
Wouldn't be surprised if they had a little team party watching this game up in Grand Forks tonight. And they played in. Cone goes after it under a minute to go. But it's icing or an offside. I think it's going to be an icing here. And the face-off back. Oh, Frisbee heads to the ice and into the corner. Well, I think we've seen again that Minnesota's getting, I think, pretty consistent play from the forwards. Kraft, Berg, Smith, we talk about an awful lot. Nate Miller been elevated to that first line with Berg and Kraft. I think he had a real good game here tonight.
Yeah, they did. Juggling the lines a little bit all the way around, and I think it has paid off for them. And part of that perhaps because of the injury to Spihar and just trying to get a little more firepower out here. That's been one of the problems that we've seen with Minnesota when they've had the opportunities, have not been able to capitalize, and by mixing players here and there, sometimes that can add to some additional opportunities. And it has for Minnesota tonight, scoring 5 goals and just giving up 1.
Pagel against Hackstead. And it's back at the line. Treble gets a piece of it. Westrom plays it in a little bit deeper. And Eric Westrom would have been out for, I think, just about every shift on a regular rotation, as had line mates Miskovich and Spihar. Eric Westrom out of Apple Valley, who won a state championship there, a 2-time All-Stater. Senden up off the far boards and out at center ice. Just a few seconds remain. And this one will be all but over. The Gophers with 2 goals in the first half of this period really solidified the victory. Get themselves a split, so they and the Dogs will be officially at the top of the WCHA pile going into Sunday morning with Michigan Tech to play at Denver in the only other 2 games this weekend. So a victory for the Golden Gophers in rallying, getting 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 more goals in period number 3.
Well, congratulating each other right now, and Steve DeBus right in the center of all that, but good solid effort by this team today, rebounding from the loss last night, and that's what you look for. Willie Marvin right in the middle of that as well, even though he's a backup goaltender. I tell you, he adds a lot of class to this team.
Oh, good word, Tom, he does.
Yep. These players now, as hard fought as it was, you wonder what's going through their minds right now. If you're a Gopher, you've won this game, hey, you got to feel good about it. The Bulldogs, happy with the split perhaps. They got a victory last night, played very well. But tonight was the Gophers' turn.
They'll rematch will be the 3rd weekend of January at Mariucci Arena, and that should be a good battle because we've seen some pretty good talent come into this UMD lineup over the last 2 years. A final word on this one, another look ahead after this timeout.
Golden Gopher Hockey on MSC is brought to you in part by the New Dodge, by the American Dairy Association, by Jeep and Eagle Dealers, by Greenbelt Premium Beer, by Tires Plus, by Oasis Markets, and by Lexus.